Greetings everyone and welcome back to Factory Town, where in the last episode we set up a new mining and smelting operation to produce reinforced planks, though we are also taking some of the runoff of regular planks and transferring them to the town. You'll notice we have a new setup for our depots that is significantly more space efficient. We have also got an expanded recharging area specifically for these mines. Look at how many rechargers we're using, and we're pretty much using them all as fast as we possibly can. Now, between the last episode and this one, I did tidy things up a little bit. I built some more recharges, and I played around with the agent triggers that you saw me briefly touch on in the last episode. I have now set these up for pretty much every route, and it is helping to keep the flow of crystals pretty even amongst everything that is using it. Now, in this episode, I would very much like to get to clothing, if we can. Let's have a quick look at what kind of clothing we have available. Now, the best kind of clothing is warm coats, which probably is going to require both wool and shirts. I would imagine it might take cloaks. I could be wrong about that, but let's have a quick look, shall we? It'll probably be a recipe in a workshop, so let's have a quick gander. A warm coat. Oh, wow, actually, it takes a lot of things. A shirt, some leather, and also wool. Now, the leather and the wool require two different pastures to make. The wool itself can be used to make the shirts, but that is a very long process. It would take 4 seconds to make the cloth. The shirt would require 2 cloths, so that's 8 seconds. Another 4 seconds to make the shirt, so that's 12 seconds. The leather is neither here nor there, but we do need another 2 wool. We've already used 2 wool to make the shirt, so 4 wool and 1 leather would make 1 warm coat for a total of about 12 seconds. Now, 1 workshop making the cloth out of the wool and then the wool into the shirt would take 12 seconds, and the coat itself would take 12 seconds. But although that does equate to 24, if you had these running parallel, then it would only be a 12-second turnaround in total. That is quite tempting. Alternatively, we could just go for the nice, cheap and easy shirt there. It would take a lot less. It would sell for, well, it wouldn't sell for blue coins, it would sell for red coins, but that one might be a little bit more of an investment, because we would have to set up the feeding for the farms, for the pastures. Whereas if we just wanted to go with a coat, if we just want clothing, that's all we want, we only need 1 farm. We don't have to have anything else feeding into it. 1 farm making, harvesting cotton, feeding into, or several farms harvesting cotton perhaps, feeding into 1 workshop that's making it into cloth, and then into shirts. That would be a way that we could go. In fact, getting rid of the wool production down there probably wouldn't be a bad idea for that reason. We wouldn't need to be feeding the animal feed into it. We could just have one of the farms produce cotton and turn that straight into the cloth itself. Now, obviously you can do other things with leather. You can make shoes as well if you particularly wanted to. I don't believe leather itself is a saleable good. No, it isn't. So that's not something we could sell. We could sell the wool, though, by itself. That's actually quite an interesting one. But I'm honestly thinking that the shirts alone would probably be a good way to go. And bandages also, which would be another type of good that we can have a look at. That would come under the general medical. That's a bit of an interesting one. We could definitely have a look at that too. But I think I've more or less made the decision that I'm going to be just making some cloth for now. Now, the first question I have, can I plant cloth? Cotton, that is. Let's have a look. I can't. We need somewhere that has cotton. I do believe, in fact, I am correct. There is cotton right over here. Marvellous. Okay, so we need a barn. Well, it was good having you, but no longer need. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep that, actually. We are going to keep that, in fact. Let's pop down a barn right about here somewhere that doesn't require scaffolding, please and thank you. So let's lower that down first. We just want to flatten it down a little bit. There we go. That'll do fine. Right, so we want a barn. I'm sure we can just place it from here. So 1 barn right there. There we go. And we are going to want a regular worker. Oh my lord, it's been a long time since I've had any of you guys. There we are. If you could please be so kind as to plonk the cotton in there so that I can set... Oh, did I place a workshop? Really? What do I do? Okay, let me place that down. There you go. And now you can feed all of this cotton in there for me. Marvellous. Thank you very, very kindly. Now, with this, if we hover over just the general store, we can see that a decent amount of these places are at 5 happiness. Once we get to 6 happiness, I'm going to move everything from over there, and we're probably going to completely demolish our cake industry and rebuild it elsewhere in a bit of a better design. Right, for the time being then, let's find a nice cozy little spot, perhaps over here, where we could set up our little cotton farm. That's a possibility. Alternatively, we can have the cotton farm all the way back here and just bring it up to the carts. That is also a reasonable idea. In fact, we could have a cart system delivering the cotton to a silo over there to be picked up by the carts that are feeding the town. That is another option because the carts themselves don't require anything. Don't require any population. That is definitely an option open to us. All right, first and foremost then, let's just clear up this little area. There we go, that's good enough. Now we are going to want a farm. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place down 2 farms straight away. One here, and then one just over to the side. Now, I'm wondering about these water shrines. Should we try and experiment with the water shrine? I think maybe we should. Let's go ahead and place another farm right here. In fact, let's place down the water shrine first, shall we? Let's see. So water shrine, I'm wondering if this will work in such a way that it will automatically water the area around it. That would be very interesting. Or whether this just produces water. That is the question that I have there. Let's go ahead and place down the farm tiles if nothing else. So we'll place these all the way around. So these farms can draw from this little patch here. It'll look lovely. In fact, if we wanted to, we might be able to move this. If I were to move this there, yes, actually, we'd be able to grab everything. Well, that's actually kind of cool. Sure, we'll place it there then. We'll grab the other one. Just going to get another farm right there. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to want water. And what does this use? It uses an earth booster, so water and earth. Okay. Shouldn't be a big problem for us. I would like you to harvest cotton, please. Let's get you going. And the same over here. You're already set up, sorry. Same over here, cotton. There we are. And let's see if we can't start placing down this cotton now. There we go. At the very least, we should be able to get it set up. There we go. Marvellous. Absolutely perfect. It'll take a little bit of time to grow, but that's fine. Does this tile seem like it's already got water? No, it doesn't, but this may start feeding into that. Right, as this is the first building that we've placed that needs water mana, I could just peel off some water mana and just dunk it in there and then let it go and recharge. I'm not sure I strictly need that down here, but the earth mana, on the other hand, that I feel that we probably need. But I could feed it over here. I wouldn't be able to deliver it back there, though. That is a bit of a problem. Unless I had the just one tile feed through. See, this is already quite backed up. If I took this away and instead allowed my delivery of discharged earth mana to make use of this recharging setup, I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But I just don't think we necessarily need it. This is already working fairly hard, and we probably want to expand it out a little bit, but that's an awful lot of recharges that are now not being utilized nearly as well as they should. Okay, well, we'll make a slight adjustment then. There we go. There we are. We'll let that pipe clear out. Over here, instead, then we'll have a splitter. Right there, like so. This should be able to do the job. We'll see. For the time being, I hope it will. We're going to need mana pipes next, and these should be able to connect up here. So we're going to want this to come up, and then probably, well, I'm thinking split out and something like that. Something like this. And then both of these can feed off to the side then. Like so. There shouldn't be too much being used. There we are. And then all the way back down. This should be fine. As we can see, mana is flowing fairly easily. There we go. It is backed up actually down there, which is a little bit of a surprise, but I guess it isn't too terribly bad. It may be a little bit more efficient if we bring it across though. And then straight down and connect up. There we are. That is perfect. Okay, so with that, we will be able to siphon it off, feed it down, and this system's already ready and primed to go, I guess. That was nice and easy, and we'll just bleed off from the earth crystals over on this side. Notice that we aren't actually pulling out of this as quickly as I would like. That is a bit of a problem. I wonder if we could increase the throughput by doing this. No, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. Oh well. It was worth having a look at the very least. But there we are. That should start feeding things through. There we go. Perfect. Right, so with that done, we should be able to see these starting to pull from there. We will create a feed for our blue mana over here, and we'll just feed it straight back as well. There we go. And this all the way up. Now the problem with this is that is going to soak up a lot of blue mana. It's not exactly the best solution in my opinion, but it's a very quick solution. I don't want to take too much time on it this time because we have spent an awful lot of time playing around with mana in the last couple of episodes, and I appreciate that it would be nice to see some other things going on. But the main thing I'm interested here is to see whether this water temple actually causes any kind of production of actually splashes the water around itself or not. Hard to tell. It doesn't really seem to show whether that's the case. Over here, it's definitely not the case. At the very least, we'll just leave that there. I mean, I could hook that up if I really needed to, but I don't think it's strictly necessary. Now, one thing I notice quite frequently, though, our steam production keeps getting broken for some reason, and I'm really not certain why. And it's actually kind of annoying. Let's get a steam connector, break that network there, then hook it up. Oh, damn it, wrong thing. No, come on, go away. Go away. No, damn it. Okay, fine. X. There we go. Right, steam pipe, let's hook that up. Has that now reconnected everything? There we go. So things should actually be working properly now. My lord, I was just more convoluted than it needed to be. We could set up a little steam generator over here, if I particularly wanted to. I'm not really sure that I do, but let's see. Oh, there's actually... Yeah, okay, we can draw this out. There, 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 and finally down here as well. And we should see that, yeah, 145% fulfilled. That's fine then for now. But I don't know why it keeps doing that. It seems that every time the game is saved and then loaded, it gets a little bit, the steam just disconnects. Most frustrating, I must confess. Right, okay, so with that done, we want these farms to feed into, of course, silos, naturally. Let's get this going. Can cotton move down a chute? It can. That's actually kind of surprising. Okay. Next up, we are going to want a workshop. Do we have workshops down there? No. Now, if that's all we want, we can just have the workshop straight up make the shirts. Now, let me just go and double check the requirements. Now, it needs 2 cotton to make 1 cloth in a workshop. How much cloth per shirt? A shirt needs 2 cloth, so 2 cotton to make 1 cloth. That's 4 seconds, 8 seconds. And this will be being made a lot faster. So it really comes down to how fast my farms can produce 2 cotton. I'm fairly certain that they're going to be producing it faster than 4 seconds. So we might end up wanting 3 workshops. 1 each to make the cloth, and then a final one to make everything, to make the shirt. Every 2 seconds it produces 1, and that's all it's doing, so it shouldn't be any issue with that. Is this growing? Would it ever tell me? Yeah, the farm tile is not telling me if it's actually benefiting from the water, so it probably isn't. It's a bit of a shame, but okay. We'll disconnect that piping. Oh, well, too late. It's completely full. I knew that would happen. Damn it. Alternatively, I could set this up to just pull out the water, I guess. Sure, we'll go ahead and we'll do that. Something there, cross either direction. There we go. And right down. This should be fine. And then build the grabber down here. This should do everything we need. Or not. Interesting. Can that not grab from a shrine the same way it can grab from anything else? I mean, the shrine is very short. That is a good point. Well, that was a little bit of a surprise, I will confess. We would need to change this up a bit in order to get this to work then in that case. I mean, because ideally we would want the water shrine just down there, and then feeding straight back out. We can make this happen. It just requires a little bit more finagling than I had originally planned for. Oh my lord, that's awful. Well, okay. Let's get the mana pipe feeding down like that. And feeding up. There we go. That will allow... Actually, no. No, it won't, because we do still need to get the water pipe in there. Well, this does actually give us a little bit of a problem, doesn't it? I mean, technically speaking, we could do something like this. Across. The reason why I did that in 2 breaks is to avoid adding another mana connector, which it'll build automatically otherwise. Something like this, and then up and around. And then we'll get rid of that completely. And instead, we'll remove 1 tile. Well, actually, no, we probably will only need to remove 1 tile. Yeah, that will work. It's a little bit of a potch, but it does at least do the job. So first, we're going to need to remove resources. Going to need to make sure my tool is in the smallest mode possible. Move the shrine down. There we go. And then with that, we can replace the 1 tile that we took away. So we actually lose no efficiency in terms of the amount of product that we're able to gather, but it was a bit of a pain to set that up. Still, that's fine ultimately. And we just want 1 splitter here then. It actually ends up being a little bit easier. There we go. So they'll be able to water the tiles where necessary. Hopefully. I am going to have to add in a recipe for them to apply water. There we go. And much the same over here. For the most part, it won't be necessary, I imagine. But there we go. You can also have a dedicated farm to placing water down. Which is an interesting one, actually. You could have, if you had a very large area which was growing crops, you could have 1 farm at the center responsible for applying water, and then all the ones on the edge just gathering as they wanted to, which would actually work fine as well. Right, so back to making our cloth then. We're going to want to bring this out in a chute. And given that, I'm going to get rid of this little bit of coal up here. Let's just get rid of you. Now, I can all but guarantee that the cloth is not going to come out on a chute. No, it will come out on a conveyor, so that's fine. In that case, then, I'm going to do a little bit of movement over here. So let's just make a little nook in there where we can get some things placed. And we'll have 2 conveyors drawing out like so. And then we'll work with the land once again. Well, we'll almost work with the land once again. I'm telling a little bit of a fib because I'm going to push that down. But that'll do nicely for us right there. Let's go ahead and grab 2 workshops then. There we go. And sure, we'll have them facing inwards. There's no particular reason not to. There we are. Now, each of these air boosters, please. Oof, we're getting a lot of the boosters needed around here. It's going to become a bit of a potch, really. Cloth manufacture, please, and thank you. Also, cloth manufacture, Please and thank you. There we go. And these should be able to be withdrawn. If I had... I mean, it's technically possible I could do that. Sure. Okay. Let's do this then. Can I move a conveyor belt? No. No, I cannot. But that's fine. Do this. And then we'll place down a silo. Haha! Fantastic. There we go. And we can just feed straight into there. Excellent. That is fantastic. Now, that's right in the middle of my earth mana. There is no easy way that we're going to sort this out. And that is a bit of a potch, honestly. Now, we don't need the water mana, so I am actually going to just remove this. I more or less put it there so we had a use for water mana right now. But for the time being, I don't think that's strictly necessary. I would, however, like to hook up the steam. So let's go ahead and do that. Straight down here. Actually, we'll probably want it somewhere around here as well. So there we go. We're now using 140%, which is pretty cool. Excellent. And let's zoom in. There we go. We're currently outputting at 340%. That's marvelous. We will be able to get that a lot higher with the air booster as well. I wonder how much air boosters actually add. Have we got anyone that's using air boosters? We do. We should do anyway. We have a look down here. Are all boosters the same? Honestly, not certain. The stonemason is using an air booster. And they're at 100%. Wow. That would imply that it was very, very much worth my while to set that up down here then. Egads. That setup for an air booster. That is too, but strictly speaking, I don't think that's really going to be helpful to me. This forester is doing a kind of a crazy job, actually. Harvesting all these trees. We probably are going to need a lot more trees down here, frankly. Trees take a long while to regrow. And we are hacking through them with a quickness. Let's go ahead and place down some tree planters then. Given that, let's fill this out a little bit more. There we go. Just make sure that we're using as much of this as we can. I say without any intention of really filling it out completely. Then we'll get all of these trees down as well. There we go. Just make sure that this is done as much as possible and we should be good. That should be enough that even just growing normally, they will start regrowing before we've cut down the last tree there. But definitely, it's going to be worth our while to speed things up a little bit. Now, the air booster would add 100% to this. That's actually going to be probably, actually in this instance, not necessary here. Because if I do that, we're going to be massively outproducing these compared to the nails and iron plates that we're making. We're not stockpiling those. Iron plates specifically is a little bit behind. And that's because nails get the priority there. We make nails a lot faster. And so we're making sure that our nail silo is always full, but the iron plates not quite as much. How are these deposits? These deposits are doing amazingly well. We could probably even get another mine there if we really wanted to. Maybe. Maybe another mine specifically for gathering iron, in fact. Because we certainly don't need all of these mines gathering coal. That said, would it really be that much of a problem? Probably not. But you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this one up. Yeah, I'm going to set this one up to coal. We're just going to improve the efficiency here just a tiny little bit. Set this one up to iron. There we go. And then I'm going to move the coal off the belt. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and place down some more chutes. Feeding in. And feeding in. I want another grabber as well. And this way I will have 2 mines gathering iron and coal, and 1 dedicated to gathering iron ore. And that should do us well into the future. Honestly, we do not need as much coal back here as we've got. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and remove... Don't worry, I'm going to reduce the size of it. Remove this. And honestly, I just don't think we need this much coal. We are not using that coal nearly fast enough. So with that, we're going to place down some more iron ore. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. And these are going to suddenly go mad as they're trying to fill up these deposits, which is actually kind of really, really funky to watch. Right, let's move you over. Let's move you over, and then build another mine in the middle, and we should be good. Now, of course, this is going to really mess with my setup a bit, but oh well. Let's go for iron ore, please. Let's have a look. Yeah, these are now no longer in the right place. Well, bit of a potch, that one. Not gonna lie, kind of a pain. But let's make a mana connector right here. Take away that one and this one as well. I mean, there we go. That will work for now. I want to offset this a little bit more up there instead, and this one to offset up there as well. The one in the middle is not actually going to get any mana. That is a bit of a shame. I guess I could, though, in a bit of an odd way. If I were to move this, could I? No, this agent trigger is offset there and is working on this. I can make that work in a bit of a roundabout way. In fact, I might actually be able to just... Can I place that there? No. Because the agent trigger is there and it is a bit more of a substantial block, it does seem to actually have a space that it occupies. So, much the same way, I want it to be set on enter and to basically turn that on. So, offset there to enter. And when that happens, I want this to turn that on. And then we're going to get rid of this agent trigger completely. There we go. That works. And this one is going to be the only mine that gets free mana. No restriction on it moving through. There we go. Aren't you special? There we are. That kind of works. It's a bit of a hodgepodge of things, but it will hopefully result in this place getting plenty of iron ore posted out to the forges, which will then be able to make iron plates a little bit faster. There we go. Look at that. They are actually starting to fill up. Again, though, the nails are going to be constantly made first, but because we've got a stockpile of iron ore, the plates will be made as fast as we can as well. So that actually all works out. So 3 mines have to be running that well. That's actually kind of impressive when you think about it. Now, over here, we don't want this water, honestly. It's not really helping us, I think. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move this water shrine elsewhere. Let's pop it over here. And I honestly cannot say elsewhere without thinking of the Elder Scrolls. It's kind of boggling, really. Right, let's clean all of this up, please, and thank you. There we are, and all the way up and down. Now, we are going to ultimately want to bring in air, if we can. That will be... it's going to be a complicated issue, frankly. But one worth working on, I feel. There we are. But that's something we'll tackle a little bit later, I think. What we want to do now, just go down, build our workshop, start producing our shirts, and then cart them over there. So, let's go ahead and get that going right now. There we go. So you can get fed in there. We'll pop the air booster down, ready for later. Right, shirts. There we go. Feeding in nice and fast. These should be going plenty fast as well. We can also hook up the steam pipe, the steam connector right there. There we go. That is excellent. So we're getting these done pretty fast considering one worker is working on them. We'll see if the farms are also doing a decent job. These are growing, they're growing reasonably fast, though they are growing faster because of the water on the tiles. That is going to stop soon. And what we may find we need to do is add more tiles of cotton to the farms to make up for the fact that they're not able to to regrow the cotton quite as fast as normal. So we'll just do that as well. There we go. That should keep our farms on the go. So we're producing shirts at a reasonable pace at that. And now we need to get them all the way over here to be picked up by our cart. Now, how are we going to do that exactly? Well, one option is just to have a cart that specifically moves large volumes of shirts around. Another one is that we could actually play with the packager. It's a little bit overkill, I think, for this particular situation. I could just convey them, but honestly, the conveyors would be so much more expensive than just having rails, so we're not going to go that route. Instead, we are going to go straight up with regular rails. It's a nice, flat little area here. We should be able to do this. So let's have a look. We've got a little room for improvements here and there. I would like to adjust the area down a bit. Before we do that, though, we're going to cut the grass just so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. That's a little bit better. There we are. It's a bit like Transportation Tycoon. We want to... Oh, damn it. Of course, I had the wrong thing selected. We want to keep the rails going nice and smoothly where possible, but at the same time, we are going to need to create a bit of room around these areas. Oops, I forgot. I'm actually using terrain block down rather than the smoothing flatten tool. That was a bit of a costly mistake. Though at this point we've got so much money, it really doesn't matter. There we are. And there we go. That should give us a bit of room to play with. Okay, so with that, let's get the rails down then. So first and foremost, I'm going to want rail carts. Honestly, yeah, a two-way up here. If I've only got one cart though, actually no, we don't need to do that. If I've only got a single cart working this, then that should be fine. So we're going to want one conveyor into a silo. We'll place the silo down last, actually. So we want this to come around the corner like so. That is going to be a bit of a pain. Okay, something like this will do. And since all we're doing is having this one cart to pick up and deliver at the other side, we're not going to need a double rail at all. A single cart should be able to do this job admirably. With that, let's just go ahead and swing around. I would love it if we could have this nice and smooth, but well, I suppose we can. Let's go ahead and pull this terrain down a little bit as well. I know, I said I wasn't going to do it. Shush. There we go. And up and around. Nice. And then we can just have it delivered to a silo just around here. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. In fact, we can have the silo right about there, let's say. So we'll come on up. And something like this. There we go. Lovely. Right, another silo and we're done. There. Oh, well, actually, let's put these rails in as well first. There we go. That'll be a little bit easier. And in fact, I can just copy that. There we go. And, oh, it didn't... I thought it would actually add in the rail stop, but apparently not. Either way, there we are. Nice and simple. Right, let's clear out this little area as well. Perfect. And we can have the rails like a nice long turn over here. And then straight down. Perfect. This way we can actually have the pusher work the way it's meant to. There we are. Yeah, that'll do. Now then, we just need to copy over these tiles. One pusher, one blocker, one inventory sensor, one inventory counter. There we are. Right. I want this to be if less than 20. Then activate this. This should be offset in here and then feeding in there. And we're good to go. Great. Now, how's this going? It's already full. Perfect. Let's get one cart doing all of this work. There is a potential that we might want more. It depends a little bit, but let's just have a watch. So this will grab a full 10. Full 20 rather than head on back. That may be a bit excessive. We'll see. We may end up with quite a few carts over here, but we'll have to watch. But there we are. You can go head on through. And by the time you get back down here, it's already full. Okay, so we probably do want a little bit more than that then. I was going to avoid using the packer, but maybe the packer is going to be necessary here then. It's a bit of a large building, but not necessarily a bad way to do it. We would need the silo to drop off a little bit earlier and then have the packager dropping into that. Okay. Well, let's set that up for now then. So we want this to just curl around. I know we are not really making use of the space particularly well here, and that does irk a bit. Still, actually, that's a bit silly. We want it slightly differently. There we go. And this one can rotate around. There we are. Okay, so we're going to do this slightly differently. We're going to want a packager that is strictly here to unpack things. Want that right there. That can have an air booster, that's pretty cool. We want to unpack from crates. There we go. And since these are going to be... wait, that's a bit of a problem since I'm going to need it to deliver like this. Yeah, we're going to have to push this back a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring this terrain down for me. There we go. You go ahead and go back for now. There we are. Until I'm ready for you, which ironically will be about now. There we are. Perfect. And now we just add in our silo and everything should go, should start working again. That being said, let's stop you. I want to get rid of these shirts. I know it's a bit of a waste, but it's worth it. We're going to want a silo popped in here. This is the first time we're going to have used the packer, and I really don't know how fast it does its work, but hopefully it'll be reasonable. Wrong one. Rail stop. Let's have a look. It takes 0.5 seconds to unpack. Very nice. Okay, so this will be quite good then. Right, let's clear all of this up. We want 3 space and another silo. Oof, it's a bit of a pain. We might, in fact, want to move the silo down here instead. There we go. Now, it does need 2 separate packaging buildings. One to pack, one to unpack. But let's add in the air booster, add the recipe, pack into crates. So there we go. And then this can just feed, well, for the time being, let's swap these around, shall we? Just so that we can start this, start emptying out these. Pop you in there. Now, does that automatically work? It is offset to, it's offset to a tile rather than to a building, which is actually pretty cool. Do these travel down chutes? I do not believe they do. Alas, no, they do not. So, there we go. Right, so with that done, let's get these in. Oops. There we are. And that should all work. We can start you up again. Go. Forward. Right, we should see this start to do its job. You really should go. Go. There we are. I'm going to unfortunately have to control this for now. Why is that? That's fine. We'll just have them collect. Now that should have already unblocked this. Why is it not? What's this doing? Perhaps it isn't actually. Oh, there we are. So I did need to be refreshed. There we go. So this is slowly unpacking all of the shirts. There we are. That's actually pretty cool. We'll just drop off a bunch more packaged shirts in there. How many have we got? None so far. That's actually pretty cool. So we've got 3 fully packaged shirts. Now, you might be wondering, well, how are we getting so many shirts? Each of these crates contains 4 shirts. That's how the packager works. It condenses down any item into a crate that contains 4 of the items. So every time we move however many crates along, 20 crates would actually unpackage into 80 shirts, which is quite substantial. So we should be getting plenty of clothing over here. Let's go and have a wee look. There we go. Everyone is at 6. Or, well, 5 or 6. So at that point, I think it's time that we start moving the rest of the town over there. It is high time we got the rest of the town over here, in fact. Now, yeah, sure, we can have a couple over there if we really want to. Sure, we'll pop a couple more along the sides. There we go. And then we'll do more in the coming episodes to beautify the town. We've got a lot of room to play with over here at this point, which I'm actually really, really happy with. And that's more or less all of them. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses to move. Okay, well, I think I can find room for at least a couple more of you. Short one there. And let's grab the rest. You can come over as well. One there. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to consider my options in how to relocate the rest of them. Ultimately, we are going to want more houses, but that's pretty cool getting most of the houses up to 5 or 6 happiness. We're now gaining 220% production based purely on how happy our colonists are. That is particularly wonderful in my opinion. Let's have a quick look over here. Yeah, we've gotten to the point now where we don't have enough shirts for us to unload. Oh, well, 1 or 2 managed to slip through, but that's not too much of a problem there. Now that is a bit of a problem, though. That one's now going to sit there until there's 20 in here. Okay, so what we can do is have one final check, and that is have a math block and an inventory sensor to activate the pusher, depending on whether there's enough there. We probably will need to do that because otherwise there is a potential for this to lock. Now, how that would work is if one of these moved in to position and then stopped, and this, well, actually it might not even stop, but if this managed to get up to 100 before a cart pulled in, which had shirts, for example, it would move through here, it would turn on the blocker, but wouldn't take out any planks. So the blocker would not be deactivated, which would then mean the next cart that pulls in would be stuck there forever. So we probably will have to have some sort of inventory sensor just checking whether the minecart about to pull in is actually does actually have anything in it before activating the pusher. But that we can do that in the next episode. I really do hope you've enjoyed this one. We have now got the town doing pretty well, I would say. I mean, some of them are down to 3 though for some reason. What has happened there? Oh, you know what's happened? Food. We are lacking the food. Okay, we are going to have to address that in the next episode before we look at fire. But that is going to be it from me today. So until next time, and as always, do take care, everyone.